Hello there, I'm Avi. Welcome back. This is the life of Marve. This is the anticipated video, the one that I have been anxious to shoot, but then I finally did it. In this video, I will be taking you through possibly 21 questions to get to know me. Yay! This week, I am turning a big age. If you can cross the lines and words, you can figure out which age it is. So I just decided, you know what, let me get to know other people, for those who care a little bit, and just for future reference. From next year probably I will be doing a rebrand of the channel, or whenever, so I don't know when it's actually going to be implemented, but I'm going to be rebranding, and I guess big things are coming for 2025. So get ready, and I will be changing things up a little bit, but it won't be a drastic change. I'm just saying to let y'all know. So I went to AI and be like, hey, can you curate some questions for me, like what 21 questions that people may be interested in getting to know about me. So I'll be introducing the new category, or like a new series of where I'll be doing more art talks basically. And yeah, that is where I'll just be making art and talking about stuff, whether right now when I'm talking about personal stuff, or just like issues that I'm concerned with, because I noticed that I don't really do like reasonable talking. Like it's just like, oh hey, like it's about fashion, but what else, what is there about me that you could know about? So there might definitely be background noises, like you just heard dog barking. I don't think there is going to be like really bad noise. If there is, I'm going to move. I will be painting while I am doing this, so getting to know me while I'm doing one of my favorite hobbies. So for me, it is beneficial because I am somebody who is creatively inclined and want to do art and all of those stuff. So although I cannot talk and art at the same time, I decided I can just do 2 videos in one, which is going to be a lot of work. But if I can at least do this like maybe once a month or once in a 3 months period, then I think it will be something doable. Plus it will also motivate me to do more of my art and stuff. Here is to F1 time. So that is a little bit of a disclaimer before we get this video started. To get the ball rolling, I will start off by introducing myself, I guess. So I am Yintla Mavi Makubele, and I am a 20-year-old turning 21, who is currently finished studying pharmacy degree, and I am interested in fashion, and I don't know what else to say, but yeah, so interested in fashion, and that's why I created the whole Life of Marve channel, so I can talk about that, and that being an outlet where I can be creatively a fashion person. That does not count as the 21 questions, but it definitely is something that you should know about me. The first question is, if you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be and why? For various reasons, I would really love to live in Japan. Like every time there's just something about the Japan city, or itself, it just makes me like, oh, I wanna live there, most especially the fashion scene, the fashion there. I'm like, oh my freaking gosh, like I think that would be really interesting, because I look at myself and how I wear my clothes, and I'm like, oh, that is so weird. And then I look at the people in Japan, I'm like, I would definitely just be a basic person there. So I think I would definitely like to live in Japan, because I would feel more normal for wanting to wear the things that I wear here normally. What's the most spontaneous thing you've ever done? The most spontaneous thing that I've ever done, I think, is on my birthday. This one time I just like went away, I guess, and just explored the city, running around, like, and I was doing that offline, like off with airplane mode on, kind of vibes, and I was just like off the whole time. So I think that is the most spontaneous thing I've ever done, by just going to a city, a place that is unfamiliar, and just being just going to random places. Yeah, that is the most spontaneous thing I've ever done. What's your favorite childhood memory involving a pet? I have never actually had. I've never had a pet, but there was a dog in my family house vibes, which was like a police dog vibes, but I don't really know if it counts as a police. And I've been trying to look for a breed that looks like that dog. If I find it, if I find something similar, I'm going to insert a picture of it. But yeah, so my favorite memory would probably just be tending to the dog or something, because usually it would just be neglected and just be fed. So every time I get an opportunity to play with the dog, it would just be a fun time for me. The next question is, if you could have any job in the world, what would it be? So something that would have to do with creative scene. If I could just be living my life as an artist, I think that would be the most rewarding thing for me, and which is like crazy because I can still do that. It's just that I won't be getting paid. So if I can do that and get paid, then yes, that would be the only dream. That is the dream job that I would like. What's one thing you find oddly satisfying? For me would be maybe sending reels to my friends, like sending reels that I'm like, oh, I like this thing, like I think you like it too. That is so satisfying for me. And when a friend replies to them, oh my freaking gosh, I get such a high. Like when somebody replies to all of them, like reacting. I have this one friend who replies to everything, and I'm like, oh my freaking gosh, where did I find you? So every time I send reels or receive reels, I'm like, oh my freaking gosh, you love me. Like that is what I find satisfying for me. Like the friends I have, like it's just satisfying for me to have people who love me back, I guess, and send me reels. Just send me reels, and you made my world. I think yeah. What's your dream travel destination? As I mentioned, Japan. If I get any money or disposable income, the first thing I'm doing with that money is going to Japan. I'm sorry, like I'm leaving the whole country. Like if it's possible to even get a citizenship, I swear I'm dropping everything and I'm like literally going to Japan. If you could invent something, what would it be? So it's crazy because I've always wanted to invent stuff. Like I always dreamed of being an inventor vibes. Like, oh, I spent most of my childhood just trying to find out things that would make my life easier by being an inventor. And I think people like Einstein and stuff were a definite inspiration for me. I would always think of stuff like, oh, I would like an instant chiller vibe, like something that would make a drink cold, like, and I literally researched about it and was like, what is a gas that I could use to make things cold? And I find nitrogen. I was like, how dangerous would it be to like all those kinds of stuff? But one thing that I would like to invent, I think I found this while I was in grade 9 or 8, where I was just like reading through textbooks and stuff, and I was reading about the sun, right? So and I found that it is steadily decaying because of the process that it does. So it produces its energy through a process called nuclear fusion, right? So where it takes hydrogen atoms and so this creates high energies that could supply possibly 1 million homes in one. So for me, the one great thing that I would like to invent is something that is replicative of the nuclear fusion effect to create reusable energy that could last us forever, I guess. So yeah, that is the one thing that I would really like to invent. What's your one thing you have learned from a mistake? Like everybody else, I've made dozens of mistakes, but from one thing that I've learned is to treat people with kindness, to be more forgiving, to be less judgy and more patient with people. I think that is the biggest lesson that I have had to learn. Especially I made mistakes with friends, and that led to a lot of bad decisions, I guess. So I think doing that, for me, learning those lessons were really crucial. Yeah. If I could travel time, would I go to the past or the future and why. To be totally honest, I have a lot of regrets, like I mentioned, friends in the past, right? As much as I would like to save those things, but those things had to happen. So to answer the question, I would travel to the future to find out where are we, like what have we done, like bro, like get your, like what have the decisions that we made so far led to a great thing, like the sacrifices that I'm currently making now, what have they led to vibes. Like that is the reason why I would go to the future instead of going to the past, because although the stuff that I did in the past may be cringy and embarrassing and like and regretful, I still want to find out. I'm still more curious about the future, like what are we doing now, like literally. What is a hidden talent of yours? I think for a person who does not show off their talents, everything about them is a hidden talent. So what is a hidden talent for me? I guess I can sing. Yeah, I can sing. And what, there's a lot I can do, but so that's the reason why I think this question is hard, because all of my talents are hidden, so there is no actual talent that I can say is hidden. What social issue are you most passionate about? Christianity and capitalism, that is the biggest social issue that I'm passionate about. I don't want to get into the whole of it because I think it will take time. What is the most important lesson you've learned in life? I think we've answered these. Wait, let me check. The next question is, how do you like to spend your free time? There are dozens of ways. I'm somebody who likes to explore a lot of stuff. I like to explore a lot of hobbies. So and I do have a lot of hobbies, but my favorite thing to do is anything that involves my friends. So if you're hanging out or just like eating together, that is my favorite thing to do. Like anything that involves my friends, I guess, would make my day. So I can do anything, like I can fill up my day quite easily, but my favorite thing to do is if my friends be like, oh, let's hang out or like whatever. That is it. What's one skill that you like to master? One skill that I like to master is probably painting, and all types of painting, because I just got into it recently. I've never actually painted, so if I master the skill of painting, most of the art that I do is digital art, and I don't think that is real as much as it is reproducible. I want to be actually making it like it doesn't feel fulfilling to have a digital drawing or digital art, but having a physical painting I think would be really fulfilling. So I would like to be great at painting, like master the paint brushing and all of that, like how to master a whole thing. Honestly, I feel like my words are literally escaping from me and I don't know what to do. What's the hardest decision you've ever had to make? I don't know, like I don't really have one. I think for me things have been maybe the hardest decision to make for me was in 2022 when I had to let go of some friends, I think. So it was really hard for me to do that, but making the decision has changed my life. So I think that is the hardest decision that I've made so far. It's to choose myself, I guess, and do that with the friends that we're still in good light. Okay, so it turns out the question was not really repetitive. What is the biggest lesson that I have learned? The biggest lesson that I have learned, especially throughout my university life, is so basically background. In high school, I used to take things really way too seriously. Like I was that student who would be like an excellent whatever achiever. I came out top of my class in 2020 whatever, right? So for me coming to university, I was like, oh my freaking gosh, I got this. I'm like literally big brain. There's nothing I got, like I have to be the greatest in everything here. So I was expecting myself to excel, and that is when I set myself up for failure. So the biggest lesson that I've learned from that is not to take things too seriously. Like, as much as I am in school, like, that had a detrimental effect on me, having to find out that, oh, school is kind of like a big deal, and it is kind of hard sometimes when you don't really understand the concept. So when I was studying and getting, like, barely passing, basically, it took a really hard hit on my mental health, and it just made me so, like, depressed vibes. So having to take things lightly, take things easier, take things with a little less seriousness, it made things easier for me to understand and to be happier with the results that I got. And in fact, it actually helped me perform much better, because then I didn't really focus on the grades, but focusing on the concepts of everything. And yeah, so, and that's how I got into, like, and that's how I got out of university and regular time every year, whatever. It doesn't even matter, as long as you get to finish. That is the point, for real. But I'm really glad I got to learn that lesson really much earlier in my career, or like in the university life. Who do you admire most and why? Oh my freaking gosh, I don't know. Wait, let me think. Jaden Smith, for being a health activist and the activist activities, I guess. And then it will also be followed by Khalid for creative visions and whatever. Okay, I had a little intermission there, but by intermission I mean I had a lunch break vibes. So continuing on, what do you think is the meaning of life, right? Which is the 17th question, right? The meaning of life to me basically is love. Love is life, and experiencing love and fulfilling love for me is experiencing life. And if you do anything out of love, then you are living your life. That's what I think for me is the meaning of life. More than money, more than anything materialistic, love was here before we were here, before money was here, and will probably be here even when we're all gone. So the only thing that you could do is leave your own sense, your markers of love into the walls of the world, to know that, okay, this is what you were here, and this is what your love has gotten you. And I can use an example. Some people's love of art made them some of their greatest the greatest artists that we know of, like Van Gogh, for example, or Picasso, for example. Like, if they didn't have love for something, if they didn't have love, they wouldn't have been as famous as they are or left their mark. So if you do anything out of love, then you're living a great life. That is a quote. You can quote me on that. And how do you want to be remembered? I would like to leave a marker on the walls of society, of course, of showing that of something that I love. And to my friends and all my family, I want them to know me as somebody who was loving them enough to make them always laugh, because I really love to be funny, and I'm so obsessed with being funny to a point. But I really like to leave that marker. And to people who barely don't know me, or people who know me from the socials, they should know my love for fashion and my love for art is the marker that I am going to be leaving with them. And then, what quality do you value most in a friend? Loyalty, like Kendrick Lamar once said. loyalty. I think loyalty is the best quality you can ever have for a friend, knowing that they love you like that, to be loyal. what's the biggest challenge you've overcome? I think this is still the same question on like what is the hardest something, I think. But what's the biggest challenge I've overcome? I think it's just being totally free. Being totally free as in like I can express myself the way that I want, when I want, to anyone I want. And that for me was hard because I always wanted or always been a people pleaser. So having to overcome that by learning how to love myself and knowing that no matter whose satisfaction I'm giving, it won't give me a mental satisfaction. So having to conquer like not having to please other people for their own happiness won't give me happiness. So if you could have one wish, what would it be? A wish that I would have is for everybody to experience love, possibly. And I think this is going to be so cringy, but like, yeah, I think everybody should experience love. Like, living a life that does not give you life, like I mentioned, it's not a joyful love. And for me, experiencing that love was from when I found out about Jesus Christ and knew that for one person who I do not have to please at all, I know I'm loved unconditionally. Like there's nothing that I can do to please Jesus Christ that I do to please other people that do not even love me back. And experiencing that I can actually be loved by somebody who I do not even have to please, that is something that I enjoyed. So I wish for myself, for other people to experience love, or generally to live this world knowing what love is, at least. Definitely, I think those were the questions that I found from AI. And yeah, and I hope it brought a broad idea of who this person is. And if it gives you another chance to try me watching me vlog or like watching my videos, then I'm so glad it also did. Media. I don't think I do have media, but for some reason, okay, media, right? For some reason, I have been re-listening to Khalid's music before the scandals for some reason. Like, so I was listening to American Teenager, which is such a crazy album for somebody who made it while they were 18, 19. Like, I can't believe that is that he made that album when he was like at that age. I was still drooling at that age, and he made such an impressive album. And my favorite was definitely Still Shut Down by him. And then I also listened to 21 Century, and then I listened to a lot of retro Beyonce vibes. Like I was listening to Ring the Alarm for some reason. I don't know where it came from, but I was listening to that. And then I was also listening to Ali Rose by Iconic. That is top tier, my favorite song. Movies and shows. I'm currently watching this show on Netflix. It's an anime. It's about cooking, but it's not really about cooking. And I'm also watching Dun. I haven't watched a movie in a while, so I think that's all for media. Thank you for watching again. This was nice for me to be talking, and I hope you also enjoyed what I made. I'll put a picture of what I made in full if I ever do take it. So that's it from me. Bye.